Oh, in the sense of I think everything that could possibly go wrong is going to go wrong. There's going to be
Fingers crossed.
arguments. There's going to be civil wars, and we're okay with that. We're okay with that. Let's go around the room to see who we have here. Of course, we have my co-host Ryan. Ryan, how's it going today?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Pretty excited for this one.
Oh yeah, me too.
Been waiting.
Yeah, same here. We also have Anthony. Anthony, how's it going?
Hey, I'm doing good. It's been a nice chill day, and then this is going to be the big hectic part of my day.
Yeah, pretty much. We also have Emmett Watkins Jr. joining us for the first time. How's it going, Emmett?
It's going pretty good. I had some friends over and we watched the Kim Possible So Not the Drama movie for the first time in my life. So
Okay.
I'm feeling pretty unstoppable right now.
Oh, okay. All right. I like that.
That was a bad pun, but we got more to come.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. We also have our residential guardian, Eric. How's it going, buddy?
Someone's going to have to be the Drax. Is it Drax? What's the villain's name of Kim Possible?
Oh
Draken?
God,
Draken.
I think it is
Yeah,
Draken.
Draken. Yeah, that's
Draken.
right.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to be the Draken. I guess I'm going to be the Draken of this episode. So
Okay.
if we're going to keep the Kim Possible theme.
All right, that's fair.
I'm
As
excited
long as I
about
get to be with Shigo, you're good. That's the meme.
Yes, it is. And we also have our other residential guardian, Frank. How's it going? Yes,
Yo,
that's
what's up?
we have two residential
How's it going?
guardians. That's right.
We've been playing a lot of Destiny. A
Yeah,
lot of Destiny.
I bet. I bet.
Too much Destiny.
That's all right. That's not a big deal. Today, like I said, we were going around the room and discussing Game of the Year. So let me go through the list before I go too crazy. Before it gets too crazy. Not the list. Sorry, the rules before it gets too crazy. So we're doing 5 games of the year. Your top 5 games. We are ranking them, so it's going to be not ranking. We are weighting them. So the first game on your list is going to be number 1 is going to be 5 points. Number 2 is going to be 4 points. Number 3 is going to be 3 points. 4 is going to be 1 point. 5 is going to be 4 is going to be 2 points. 5 is going to be 1 point. For the game to be your number 1, you have had to complete it. End game. That's it. If you haven't completed it, I can't check to see if you completed it, but I'm taking your word for it. If you, I hope you've completed it. Otherwise, why would it be your number 1 game?
check their trophy list.
Say it again.
You could
Check
check
their
her.
trophy list to see if they completed
This is
it.
true. This is true. I could do that, but that sounds like a lot of work, Eric. And come on, you know me.
Hey man, I'll be honest.
Yeah,
I can promise that much at least.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So what else? Oh, yes. The game has to have been out between the dates of November 30th, 2019 and December 1st, 2020, which means I'm sorry, Cyberpunk, but it didn't look like you were going to win anybody's game of the year. So it is what it is. All right. We're going to start off with Ryan. Ryan, what is your number 5?
Well, I'm actually doing an audible again. I had to switch up the list a little bit. So my number 5 is Animal Crossing: New Horizons.
Oh,
Nintendo
okay.
Switch.
All right.
Okay.
Why did you pick
When
Animal
I would
Crossing?
start to sit down to do this list, I knew Animal Crossing had to be here somewhere. I
Okay.
put over 400 hours into that game. I'm still playing it to this day. I play it every 3 days pretty much. And it has just been, for the kind of year and world we've been living in, Animal Crossing has just been such a nice little break from reality every few days. To really just get out of your head and just do your villagers, design your nice little town, just be in a nice little happy place for a little while. It's been real good for that. And goddamn, if it did not sell systems for Nintendo, that's another thing that needs to be said. Is that thing sold gangbusters.
Oh, yeah.
Very true. Yeah, it's crazy how long that just remained relevant in the conversation the whole year too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's been
It's
insane.
because I feel like the way they did it, where instead of having everything be in the game and you be able to time skip to holidays and stuff, I think having them as updates that actually happen to like your game and everything was fantastic. It's a way that when the beginning of the month starts, you see that, oh, it's Halloween, there's gonna be a big Halloween thing, Thanksgiving, Christmas. It made it come back to always be relevant throughout those events.
Yeah.
And that's why Animal Crossing gets my number 5.
Okay. Nice.
Respectable choice.
Very respectable.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony, what's your number 5?
For me, my number 5 is going to be Persona 5 Royal.
Okay.
And so, for me and my little sister, this was our big game that we were hoping for throughout the year here. And so, while we were stuck inside with each other, we had Persona 5. We had already played it originally when it released, and then she was so excited to see the new content because this was her first Persona game, and so she had no idea, like, for Persona 4 or anything like that. She had never experienced the additions that they would add. And so she had a lot of fun coaching me in the back because they made all the additions to it to where you can start making progress much quicker earlier in the game. Mm-hmm. And so we got to see a lot more of the character relationships that we missed out on because of not having the appropriate stats earlier in the game and that sort of thing. And so they added like quite a bit of content. I think it was like 30, 40 hours additional once we got to the end of it. And so we both enjoyed it a bunch. The soundtrack's still amazing and everything else. And then there was like one shot where my sister just busted up laughing because the character just pulls a gun on you. And there's no like pretense in terms of the conversation. It doesn't feel like it's going to go that way. Like it's a little tense, like friendly, like, oh, you beat me in this competition. And he just draws a gun. And then my sister still talks to me about that every so often. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I respect that one. That was my number 6, so I'm glad it's getting some recognition. Because I was very close to putting it on here myself.
Yeah. Okay. Emmett, number 5.
Okay. Well, I guess the one that beat Persona 5 Royal. This is one that's probably going to be way up higher on some other people's lists, but for me, number 5 is Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Oh, okay.
This one might be a little spicy, but basically, I loved everything about it. Spider-Man 2018 is one of my favorite games of all time, and this one pretty much matches the expectations of that entirely. The same world, but even more, gameplay mechanics. Some more traversal stuff, more combat stuff, but then the story itself. I'm just a big fan of Miles ever since Spider-Verse, and this just continues that love. Adds a new cast of characters, or at least getting to know the same cast of characters a little bit deeper. And I just really liked the narrative. I was surprised how affecting the story was. I'd say it impacted me emotionally more than the original game, and I definitely like this game more than the original game. So the only reason it's just 5 is because it is just more of the original game.
Yeah.
If they didn't release it originally, if they didn't release this as a standalone thing, I would probably see this as DLC, and it probably wouldn't even be on the list. But I still like it a whole lot. So yeah, number 5 it is. It deserves it.
Okay, cool. Eric, number 5.
All right. Let me start off a little spicy as well, like Emmett. My number 5 is Putt Putt Saves the Zoo.
Oh my god!
That
came out this year.
Red pill me on this game.
No, the Putt Putt games are fantastic. You can through time. There's one where you even bake some cookies. You join a parade. No, actually, my number 5.
Okay, good. I didn't think this was.
I thought this was legit. I was like, okay, I want to know about Putt Putt Saves the Universe.
Bro, I looked it up and it came out in '95, so I was like, wow.
It got remastered this year.
My number 5 is Hades, purely because I don't like roguelikes at all. Like when you tell me your game is roguelike, I'm immediately turned off. Like I remember, does everyone remember Rogue Legacy, the PS Plus game that we got a few years ago? Like everyone was hyped about that. I played it. I'm like, oh, this is fine. Like it's the reason why I can't get into Dead Cells, even though everyone says how great Dead Cells is. I tried it out and I'm like, man, this just isn't for me.
Yeah.
So I actually have not finished Hades because I put it down because it got to the point, like with most roguelikes with me, where, all right, I see I see all the elements of roguelikes that I don't really enjoy, but I don't want to take away how wonderfully made this game is.
Okay.
Like, that game is beautiful to look at. The music is really good. The combat is fun. Um, I I like the sense of randomness that you have to build a perfect build on the fly. You can't really think about it too much. Like, you have to think room to room. Okay, what's best for me right now? And that's fun. The characters are all hot.
True.
Plus, Meg has my heart, and she'll step on it with heels, but that's besides the point. But the voice acting is really good. So even though I didn't finish the game and I don't like roguelikes, I think this game deserves all the awards it gets because it is a very well made game. And I like Supergiant, like their business practices. I know things come out where like they ban work emails on weekends and they don't really do crunch like most other big studios do. So it's good that Supergiant just still makes great games. Even though I wasn't a fan of it that much, it's still a very well made game and it deserves recognition.
Okay.
Certainly.
Cool. I just couldn't get into Hades. Like, for me, it was just I tried it for like 30 minutes and I was like, oh, this is not for me. But I mean, to each their own. You know.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just not a roguelike guy.
See, I am a big roguelike guy. Like things like Risk of Rain 2 or Risk of Rain 2 is probably one of my favorite games of all time. So I tried Hades myself and I got far enough into it to see like a really cool plot thing that happened like an hour or two into the game.
Yeah.
That got me interested, but for whatever reason, I just haven't gotten back to it. But it's definitely one that I want to get to because as a big fan of Bastion, especially, the combat's really similar to that. So yeah, it's definitely worth checking out.
Okay. Cool. Frank,
Oh,
what's
up?
your number 5?
My number 5 is Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
2 points on the board.
Honestly, I'm surprised it even made it onto my list, but I had to think about it. Animal Crossing does deserve some recognition for this year for being that game that everybody got to kind of escape the crazy world that we live in. However, it doesn't excuse the fact that game shipped very bare bones compared to its predecessors, especially when its predecessors were on a little cartridge and on a DS. There's a lot of stuff missing. There's almost no like customization, unfortunately, in terms of like other like Nintendo brands and everything like that. It just didn't feel as big as I thought an Animal Crossing game would be as soon as you like pick it up and start playing. But throughout the different updates and everything like that, it has gotten bigger, which is why I think it deserves to at least be on the list. But at least the time I played with it, it was fun. It was great. The gameplay loop was pretty fun. Terraforming is amazing, and yeah, that's why it's my number 5. It's good. It just didn't launch as big as an Animal Crossing should be.
Okay. Cool.
We should take that quote out of context. Terraforming is amazing.
Terraforming is amazing. Ever played a game called Terraforming Mars? Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Awesome.
I thought the out of context quote you're gonna say is it's big but not as big as it should have been. Oh boy.
That would have been great, actually.
Oh boy.
My number 5 has to go to a little game called Crosscode. It
Ooh.
took me by surprise, and quite honestly, I haven't finished it yet. However, I do plan on getting back to it once the hecticness of the launch launch window dies down. I'm very excited to get back to it, probably in January. But yes, I saw the art style. Somebody was playing it. I don't remember who it was. So it probably could have been Andy Cortez. I saw him playing it. Yeah, actually, it was him. I saw him playing it, and I immediately fell in love with the art style. I'm a big JRPG guy, so it just felt like it was right at home. So, yeah, that's my number 5.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Ryan, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Wow. Okay. Oh boy, this is gonna be an interesting list.
Yakuza Like a Dragon was. It is such a divergence from what that franchise is. With it now from going from a run around punching people type game to a turn-based combat akin to Pokemon style. I'd really akin it to Pokemon for like the way the combat is, but throughout it keeps the zaniness of Yakuza with a follow-along, deep, dark story again like Yakuza to just tell this really engaging story that I was not playing for it to hook me because the combat was always one of the things I really enjoyed in Yakuza. Don't get me wrong, I love turn-based combat as well. That's probably why I liked it. But the story just got me. And in a time when big games were coming out, I would still be like, I just want to keep playing Yakuza because I got it for the Xbox One X, and it beat out things like Assassin's Creed, other games around that time period that I just wanted to keep playing that instead of games to see where the story was going. And it was just a really fun ride, and one of the more enjoying times I had playing video games this year. So that's why, yeah, it's my number 4.
Wow, did not expect that. Yeah, I know a lot of people have been digging Yakuza, but that's just a franchise that I've always been flirting with for a long time, and I played a lot of the demos on PS2. That's why I'm like interested at all, but it keeps getting up in notoriety as the years go on. So one of these days, I own Zero and I own the remake of the first game, so it's like I just need to knuckle up or shut up so I can get to this fantastic franchise.
And they're all
You
coming
need
to
to
Game
legit
Pass.
just do that.
So
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, they're all free. Those are definitely games you have to like sit down and just play them through. Because if you stop anywhere in between like your playthrough, you're not gonna come back to it. It's just you're gonna come back to it. You're gonna be in the middle of the story. You're gonna be like, okay, what's going on, and then just completely forget about it altogether.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do not want to get myself caught up in that situation. So one of these days, I'll chop off a good 6 months for Yakuza exclusively. So yeah, just got to get around to it.
It's definitely worth a play for that series. They're fantastic.
Okay, yeah, you're the 43rd recommendation then. Good stuff. All right.
So for me, the next big one for me with number 4 being Sackboy: A Big Adventure. And so for me, with my siblings, they just recently started getting into video games, and this is one of those great jump on board, play together, help you out, and then there's a lot of fun with the costumes and all that sort of stuff. And so it was really great for me to kind of watch my younger brother like start to master the controller and not have to look down at the buttons, and then the joy that he felt as he was progressing through the story and making his way through it, and to be there with him for that was pretty great for me. And the platforming is much more solid than the original Little Big Planet games, and so I believe it was the developers behind Mini Ninja, and so it's very different in terms of like where they've come from and where they are, and they're very good. I would hope to get a sequel to this.
Yeah, I really like. I'm a big Little Big Planet person. I don't know if it's on camera, but there's some plushies back here on my table. If I was to move the Christmas tree, yeah, I'm a big fan of the franchise, so it's really gratifying to see people come around on it finally. But me personally, I played a little bit of Big Adventure. I'll say that it's not on this list, but I am enjoying it. It's just not like it doesn't feel urgent like the rest of these games are. But I'm glad to see it get some recognition because I'm a Sackboy stan, so it works.
now, Anthony, is it true that there is a level set to Britney Spears' Toxic?
Yeah, there's quite a few little musical jaunts as you make your way through this, and that was another kind of delight to see my brother like light up and they kind of sing
Okay.
along the song and try like because they have it set up to where the music beats match the level design, and so you can kind of go through the level, and that kind of helped, and that was pretty cool to watch.
I
You
saw
like,
that.
I got this.
I saw that scene on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh my god, is this real?" And I need to play it. So, probably when I get my 5, that's probably one of the first games I buy.
Yeah, that's definitely one you want to do. Oh, sorry, I thought I had my mic muted for a second. We're good. All right,
I think
sounds
Ruben's
good.
muted.
Ruben.
Yeah, are you?
Can't
Yes, I
hear
was.
you.
Sorry.
Oh my
My
God.
apologies.
I
wasn't-
was watching you speak, but I was like, okay, maybe he's just doing it on purpose.
No.
Practicing his mime for mime school.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out an
Yeah,
organic
no,
way to put that in there.
Yeah, no, I put it in the chat and in the group. So I was like, maybe he'll read it.
I was about to open up Twitch and put it in the chat there, but it's all good. We got to the end of it.
Thank you. I appreciate that, guys.
No problem. No problem. I guess I'll go ahead and get on with my number 4.
Yes.
I can almost guarantee this is not on anyone else's list, but we'll see. My number 4 is a free-to-play title that just came out this year by the name of Rogue Company. I don't know if
I
anybody
know
has
what you're
heard of
talking
this title.
about.
Oh, okay, so you're familiar.
I put hours into this game, dude.
There we go. Thank God. I'm not alone here. Yeah, it's a very good game. So really the reason it's on here is I usually don't gravitate towards these one life to live game modes because this one, Rogue Company, kind of plays like a Counter-Strike where you guys start in your own little, I guess, helipad carrier or whatever. You open up the store, you spend the money that you've earned on different weapons, different abilities, different perks, and then you fly down into the map. There's one bomb site to fight over, and you either arm the bomb and let it blow up to win or kill the entire enemy team. And that's pretty much it. The reason I don't like these game modes is because if I die at the beginning of the match, that's it, and then I have to sit here for another couple minutes not doing anything, and it's really frustrating. But Rogue Company is really fun for me because number one, the matches are super short. Each round is like 90 seconds for the total round, and then it's about, I think it's the first person to 3 wins. So a game doesn't take longer than at most 10 minutes, but on average about 5. So it's really quick to go in and out. And then on top of that, I never feel like I'm overwhelmed because with all these characters, number one, it's in third person, and I'm a little bit better at third person shooters. And number two, it's a character based shooter, which means you got like ultimates, and every class has like a different ability. So if I feel like I'm getting, like for instance, if I am on a fight where my whole team's down and I got 3 enemies in front of me, well, if they're all clustered up and I'm playing as Dima, just use the rocket launcher that he has, and I take out 2 of them, and then the last one is a fair fight. So I always feel like depending on the character I'm using, and I mainly choose I choose the healer a lot, so I can make sure someone's always got my back because I can revive them from anywhere on the map.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's the ultimate equalizer, these abilities, where it feels like I always have a fighting chance. And because it's free to play, I mean, they've really pulled out all the stops on this game. Not only is it free to play, but it's cross progression, cross play as well. And it's on Switch as well. And it runs at 60 frames per second on Switch for some reason.
Wow.
And it is buttery smooth on there, and it surprises the hell out of me. But I've played it on, I think I've installed it on every console that I own at this point. So it's just really fun. It's really solid. And it's not like the most revolutionary game in the world, but for someone who didn't like battle royales for a long time, Rogue Company kind of got me used to that one life to live mindset in a way where it kind of made that type of gameplay fun. So shout out to Rogue Company.
Okay. So what I'm getting from this is that it's pretty much like Valorant. Is that?
Well, for one, it's third person. So
Yeah,
it's
but
third person
that's pretty much
Counter Strike.
Okay. All right. I don't know what
It's very
This is
similar
a-
to Valorant.
Yeah, like Valorant takes like the buy system and all that, and
Okay.
converts it into their own thing. Same thing, Rogue Company. They have a buy system. They have an upgrade system. All that.
Okay.
Yeah. Very similar, but different in just enough ways. Plus, it's on the sticks rather than on the mouse, and that's what I prefer. So
Yeah, absolutely. I hate that.
Yeah, the cool thing Rogue Company does that's very different from Counter Strike, and it has its own little like perk system where you earn money throughout the match, and you have these different perks that you can use for like your gun. So like for example, you have an upgrade for your gun, or you can have a claymore, or you can add something to your super, or you can have more armor. You really have to kind of pick and choose what you get, because all your money accumulates through like all the rounds that you play.
Yeah.
But eventually your team's gonna swap, and you're back to like pistol round. You only have 5K. That's it, and then you have to restart your own thing. So it's a very like easy way to like do new strategies every time you play, and it makes it like all the matches totally fun.
indeed,
Okay.
indeed.
Cool. All right. Eric.
And Ruben, if you're a 12-year-old boy, Dr. Disrespect did some stuff with it.
True, that's true. That's like the biggest blight on the game. The fact
Yeah.
that his brand, he has a whole map with his face all over the map. So I'm just like, man,
Yeah.
Does he really?
All right.
That's absurd.
yeah.
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 It's like
Oh,
I get
God.
you got to get a player base somehow, but,
But why?
bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, don't do
Yeah.
that.
It also randomly has a Run the Jewels song as like its like title screen
Dude,
thing.
it's funny because the developer, High Res Studios, is from Atlanta, so it makes sense that they use Run the Jewels songs in the menus and stuff because Killer Mike, half of Run the Jewels is from Atlanta. So I'm just like, yo,
Oh, okay.
synergy.
Okay.
It's really
that
cool.
explains a lot.
Okay.
We're all about Run the Jewels here.
Oh yeah, there
I
you
mean,
go.
are
They got,
we?
like,
This is the first time I've heard
Yeah,
us.
I was say this
speak-
is the first time that Run the Jewels has been brought up. So
Yeah. Please
It's
don't.
always in my head.
I mean, I stand Run of the Jewels. So.
Okay, that's cool. All
I
right.
like them quite a bit. I wouldn't call myself a stan, but I respect them a lot.
Okay, cool. Eric.
now I'm just thinking about that trailer of Watch Dogs 2 where he listens to Run the Jewels when he infiltrates that building. And oh man. All right,
Good
either
shit.
way. All right, my number 4 is The Last of Us Part 2.
You monster. You're a fucking monster.
Oh, all right.
blame you.
I'm gonna
No,
shut up and let.
I'm probably the only one in this room who's just like, I'm with you on that. Didn't even like, I'll tell you right now, it didn't even make mine.
So let
right.
me
What's the
start off
alibi?
by saying that this is like a technical masterpiece, just like Red Dead Redemption 2 is. Like the attention to detail in this game is outstanding. Just guns from AI movement to how the environment looks, just to all the little details. Like when you're wrapping yourself up with a med kit, you see the bandages like on your arm where you put them. Just even the faces look so good. Like Naughty Dog, especially like with their last 3 games, just raises the bar with how character design and how their faces look with photorealism, I should say. And so I'm getting that out the way. Like I think it deserves all the technical awards. Now, granted, with Naughty Dog, there's all the crunch stories that's never good. And then you just have all the online hate that it got. Sometimes for no reason at all. Sometimes for people who haven't even played the game yet and just hate it. Laura Bailey did not deserve all the hate she got for playing Abby. I know, even though I have not finished the game yet, I have not done it.
I was gonna ask.
I have not finished it. I got to a specific moment in Abby's backstory that made me understand her a little bit more, but I'm still kind of like in the mindset of like I don't like Abby at all. But once I play it more, I'll probably empathize with her a lot more.
Mhm.
I didn't need this game. Like 1 was perfect. It did not need a sequel. Like the ending to 1, fantastic. So that's probably why it's not in my top 3, is because I haven't finished it, so I can't really appreciate all of it. But it definitely deserves all the awards it got because it is a very, very well made game. So
It's
not
not
Naughty
even a
Dog's best.
sequel to the game, you monster. It's a second
Like,
part of the story. Oh my
It's
god!
not.
I'm
It's
just
not
kidding.
even the best
Part
Naughty Dog
2.
game.
I'm just
So,
kidding. I'm just kidding.
Cool.
The
All
best
right.
Naughty Dog game came out in 2009. So
Uncharted.
Uncharted 2.
Wow.
Uncharted 2 is a GOAT game.
It really is.
Yeah.
Uncharted 2 really is like, if you put all the Uncharted together, Uncharted 2 is probably the best one. Easy.
Uncharted
Also,
4 is
Last
number
of Us-
2, though.
Last
Yeah,
of Us
that's
Part 2
what's
so
right
far
there.
is
See, the
very
problem with
long.
Uncharted games is they're all the
Yeah.
same.
I'm sorry, we got into a tangent. Yes, it is all
Oh,
the same.
sorry.
No, that's
Just-
okay. That's okay.
Also adding to it, Last of Us Part 2 is very long.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Very long. Like
you
I
can easy
put
check out a third. in.
18 hours into it so far, and I know I'm a little bit more than probably halfway done. It's way too long for a Naughty Dog game.
But the
So
question is it worth it? And the
yeah,
answer is yes.
it's definitely worth it. Like it's definitely one of the best games this year. It's just for me right now, it's number 4.
Okay,
So
that's fair.
All right. I'll see you in 2021.
Yeah.
Better be
probably
number 1.
Tessa is playing it right now in the living room, and she's already almost past me. So
Watch us in 20 minutes just hear a cry.
Yeah, you might.
Probably.
Oh my God,
Probably.
another plot point. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Frank, what do you got for me? Number 4.
So my number 4 is going to be a little bit of a surprise. It's going to be
Luigi's
Persona 5
Mansion.
Royale.
Okay.
Luigi's Mansion. Yeah. No, Persona 5 Royal. I'm a big Persona fan. I played them all. I put tons of hours into Persona 5. I've done almost everything you can do in that game. It's a great game. And then when I saw Persona 5 Royal, I was like, okay, well, this is just the Persona 4 Golden of the series. Let's check it out. It's a little bit more than a Golden. The extra semester they give you in the game is, like Digital said, it's like 40 hours of content. Not to mention they've remixed like how you do dungeons, how you do character interactions, different like skill requirements and everything like that. It completely changed how the game flows for the better. You could do a lot more things you could in the beginning of the game than you could towards the end of the game, and it made it easier to actually see interactions without having to do like 5+ playthroughs. And then the content they give you in that game is by far some of the best content and music I've ever seen out of the franchise, bar none. It's insane the amount of work they've put into this boss, this final palace, everything. It's a really kind of an amazing experience. If you've ever, even if you haven't played a Persona game, I definitely recommend just going into Persona 5 Royal. They're all kind of closed games, so you don't have to play 3, you don't have to play 4. You can just play one of them and get basically the Persona story like right off the bat. But 5 was really great. Then that's why it's my number 4.
Okay. Cool.
Once again, respectable.
Yeah, very respectable. So, my number 4 is going to be actually Luigi's Mansion. No, it's not. I'm sorry.
I'm about to say you can't do that because Sekiro is about to come in here. Control. You don't want that.
I can't even go through there. It was just a joke. No, I just switched it because I was going to put Assassin's Creed Valhalla just because it took me by surprise. I didn't expect me to like it that much. But that's not the case. My number 4 is going to be Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Warzone.
Ooh.
Warzone.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I was going to say, wait.
Sorry. Call of Duty Warzone. Call of Duty Warzone.
I was like, oh, Call of Duty. Okay. And I was like, wait, did that come out? That didn't come out this year.
Warzone. My apologies.
I was about to be able Little Big Planet 2's on the list.
I had so much fun with that, with Warzone, and I still continue to have fun with Warzone. It's just I don't have time to play Warzone that much because, again, launch window. Yeah. It's a hell of a beast, and I also don't have 200 gigs on my PS5 to dedicate to Warzone. So it's
imagine not having a petabyte just for Call of Duty.
What is that? A petabyte?
A petabyte.
Oh, petabyte.
Like 1,000
petabyte.
terabytes.
Yeah. No, I feel like they would figure out some way somehow to fill a petabyte.
Oh no, they totally would.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Once 8K hits, it's all over.
It's insane.
Those textures.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I will say though, that's a pretty good pick. I didn't play because I've played a little bit of Warzone over the year, but overall, I played a whole lot of just Modern Warfare in general.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking to the Warzone side of things, just the progression system that they have in Modern Warfare and Warzone that's shared is just really compelling because this is the first Call of Duty game I've played consistently throughout the year since like Modern Warfare 3. So,
yep.
It's good stuff. So yeah, I definitely respect that choice.
Yeah. Modern Warfare was weirdly a sleeper. Like everybody usually usually the people who play Call of Duty will obviously buy Call of Duty games. That's not the people I'm talking about. The people I'm talking about are the people who just didn't like look at it just because it's a Call of Duty game.
Yep.
But in terms of that game's like animations and gameplay and just progression of what you can do in that game, it felt like old school Modern Warfare just with a brand new look, and it was so fun to play.
Yes, it was.
It's no Infinite Warfare, I'll give it that.
Hell yeah, turn up. We got an Infinite Warfare stand.
Did you play the campaign for Infinite Warfare?
Oh, the campaign for Infinite Warfare is still the best Call of Duty campaign. Like,
Amen.
It's really great. It's great.
Amen.
Are we talking about the same
that game? No, that game's terrible, like in every other aspect, but it's campaign.
Okay.
Its campaign's great.
Fantastic.
I
The
haven't played
multiplayer
it.
campaign's
isn't
actually
bad;
great.
it's just mediocre. I'll say that much. But the campaign is where it's at for real.
They just need to
Yeah.
stop going to the future. That's it.
Yeah, the multiplayer
Yeah,
for that
Modern
game
Warfare.
is just Titanfall, but bad.
Yeah.
Yay. Titanfall.
I was about to say,
Ding.
please finish that sentence for Emmett.
Bro,
Uh-oh.
yeah, man. The Titanfall perspective is long gone as I knock down the whole
Oh
stand
no,
it was on.
I got it right here. I got it right above me too.
Oh wow,
You can't
okay,
see
yeah.
it.
You got a whole gang up there.
Yeah, you can't see it,
I
but
respect
it's there. It's
Yeah.
I think Wario64
Nice.
just mentioned another Titanfall 2 sale. So.
All right, I'm gonna go tweet that while you talk about the next game.
Okay. Cool. Ryan, what's your number 3?
My number 3 pick is, this is going to be another spicy one, The Last of Us Part 2.
God damn it, guys! You had one job. One job.
Y'all
Wow.
really like The Last of Us, didn't you?
Why are you so shocked, Ruben? We know what your number 1 is going to be, and it's not Last of Us 2, so don't even.
You don't know that. For a
Your
fact.
number 2 is
I
Last
know
of Us
that.
2.
You
isn't
don't
it?
know that for a fact, guys. You don't know. I don't
This
know.
is crazy.
We'll see.
Oh boy. All right, what's the alibi?
Is a technical masterpiece, down to the way bullets sound different in different environments, to the crunching of the leaves, to everything audio and visual they did, facial expressions, all of that jazz. It is fucking fantastic, and I will give it that credit any day of the week for what it did to push gaming technically. But when I think about all the games I played this year, The Last of Us is the only game where I think I had to stop playing it for about a month when a major plot point happened, about a quarter of the way through, where the big switch changed. And I'm like, well, it's time to put this one down because I ain't playing that story. I came back a month later and beat it, enjoyed it, but if I stayed in one person's shoes the entire time, I would have had a better time. Putting that out
Okay.
there now. I could never.
Hmm.
Acting for her, fantastic. Everything else, wasn't a fan of her story. Never could sympathize.
Okay.
Did anybody else play this game all the way through, like in one go? I'm just, this is not the first time I've heard somebody just say, "Hey, I played Last of Us 2. I played like 2 weeks of it or like a month of it, and I just like gave up and then came back."
No, yeah, I've got that. I got that a lot too.
I beat it in
because-
one weekend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we played.
Yeah.
I literally sat down as soon as it came out, and it's all I played.
Wow.
And then I think I barreled through it in like 2 days, 2 or 3 days.
Okay. Well, I was playing it on stream, and then I got tired of it, and then I stopped for like 2 days and came back.
Okay,
I
I can understand that. Well, I'll talk about it more later.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I just played it, and then I was just like, I can't do this. This ain't happening. And I just had to take that break. The emotions ran too deep.
Understandable.
But, and then like I'm another person that thinks The Last of Us 1 is such a perfect contained. It is one of the few 10s out of 10s in my book in gaming, where I'm like, there's nothing wrong with this game, and I personally don't think it needed a part 2. Like the story we're getting from it and everything is cool. The add-on to the universe, all that, but at the end of the day, that universe was perfect as is. There was nothing I had. Leaving The Last of Us, I never had more questions about the universe. So to get a part 2 is cool, but in my opinion, a little unnecessary. But technically, a masterpiece. So that's why it gets my number 3 pick.
Okay. I want you to know, Ryan, that it's going to get clipped out when I said you guys had one job. So I hope you're okay with that.
This was rigged from the beginning. I knew it.
We got some more numbers here, trust me. I think we'll be okay, but we'll see.
Okay. Anthony, what's your number 3?
For me, my number 3 is going to be Miles Morales.
Okay.
And so I am, if you know me, I am a massive comic book person. You may be able to tell from the background here. But I've been a big Miles Morales fan since his original debut. I have almost the entirety of his comic book existence. Because he's such a new character, it's not a hard thing to do. But for me, this game, with the emotions that it brought up in me as I was playing through it, I really enjoyed the story of it. And I played this, and then I immediately jumped into the remastered of Spider-Man to kind of compare and see. And the changes they made to the systems overall are great. And it's gonna. I hope that they find ways to integrate those systems in with Spider-Man in the sequel that they do inevitably. And for me, one of the things with the Spider-Man, I think it's 2018, right?
Yep.
It wasn't wholly original in the kind of ways that this is. They take the Tinkerer, who MCU fans might know from the first, not Toby, what is it?
Far From
Tom
Home.
Holland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Homecoming.
Yeah,
Homecoming.
from that
Homecoming.
first movie, he's the dude that builds the suit with the wings and all that. He's the one that builds all the tech, and he's there, and no one really cares. And so to take a character like that, that's a perfect opportunity for the creators to take it and spin it in such a great way. And then for Peter in that first game, he doesn't have a home. He's evicted, and then he goes off and he like couch surfs. And at the end of the game, he's setting up his new place. There's no sense of home because his life is so frantic. And for Miles to have his apartment, to have his family, to have that neighborhood, and to have the community that you interact with potentially if you do the side missions, you interact with them, help them, you meet them, you know them. At the end of the game, when there's the inevitable shot where the community stands up, it's not just people, it is the people that you helped and you've seen as you make your way through. And I thought it was very fantastic because, like with Ubisoft, as we all know, those games could be a bit much. But I thought this was a perfect balance of, yes, it's open world, there is stuff to do, but it's not too much, and we're not cluttering the map with unimaginable amounts of things to do. It's focused around the community, and you go out and you help, and I just thought it was fantastic.
Okay, cool.
Agreed.
Emmett, Emmett, what's your
Oh.
number 3? Sorry.
Oh,
I was
okay.
just going to give an update of what the list is so far.
Oh, you can do that before if you want to. It's fine.
Okay. As of right now, we have number 1, The Last of Us Part 2 at 5 points. Miles Morales at 4 points. Persona 5 Royal with 3 points. We have Yakuza Like a Dragon, Warzone, Sackboy, and Rogue Company tied with 2 points. And then Hades with 1 point.
Okay.
So,
God, I hope we don't get canceled for Hades
Listen.
if it's at the bottom.
Just make sure everybody does right, all right? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, hey, like I said, we got some haymakers coming, so
Okay.
we'll see.
Okay.
But for
Y'all have no idea.
oh God, oh Lord, here we go. Well, hey, hopefully none of y'all can crush my number 3 game here, which is my Dreams. Because I thought that one was really clever, and I'm really proud.
That was really clever. I like that.
So yeah, Dreams is my number 3. I think what Media Molecule did with this game is pretty much what they've been working towards in the entire studio history, where Little Big Planet was all about level creation. They made the tools even better in 3, and then Little Big Planet got away from them. Then they got with Tearaway to make that creation side of it a little bit more personal. And then when they came back here with Dreams, it took the entire PS4 generation for it to finally come out, but it was worth that wait, if you ask me, because I think because I've played Dreams, because this is an early access title. I played it a whole lot last year, but they finally gave it the 1.0 release and added their own campaign into it. That campaign is one of the most creative, and it's kind of like in a similar way to Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, which I know is a wild comparison to make. In a similar way to that game, the campaign of Dreams is just a mix mash of a bunch of stuff that should not work. They are tackling a bunch of serious themes and a bunch of serious topics in a lot of goofy and out there and ridiculous ways. And they're also telling a mature story, but they're also doing it with very storybook type of visuals and whatnot. It's just wild. And I think the campaign is just really great. It's only 2 hours as well, which I appreciate, a game I can beat in a day.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think Dreams is just it's miraculous, the campaign that they made, but also the fact that you can pretty much create anything you want in Dreams, music videos, songs themselves. games of all genres except for like MMOs and crazy stuff like that. You can make anything in Dreams, and I've seen people actually taking that tool set and making everything with Dreams. I've played shooters, I've played racing games, I've played all types of things. I've seen short films in Dreams, which Little Big Planet, you can never do stuff like that. So I think it's the most ambitious game that came out this year. I think it deserves a lot more recognition than it has been getting this year, and I wanted to make sure I gave it a shout out for my number 3. So yeah, Dreams from Medium Molecule.
Okay, well done, well done. Eric,
What?
what's your number 3, buddy?
My number 3 is Miles Morales. So I am a huge Spider-Man person. That's I guess it's obvious to me. That sounded weird. That sounded better in my head. I'm just gonna keep talking.
Okay.
So anyway, 2018 Spider-Man is my 3rd favorite game of all time. It is my favorite PlayStation exclusive of all time, and that game is perfect to me. Everything about it is perfect. Peter Parker was perfect, and when they introduced Miles, I was very excited because I didn't really know that much about Miles. Like you knew I knew the news stories around the time it came out. I was like, oh, this is the new Spider-Man and such. And I have finally read the Miles comics now. Then you got Into the Spider-Verse. You got cartoons. And Miles is everywhere now. He's become a staple of Marvel. And for him to finally get his own game is great. One of the best things I can say about it is it plays just like 2018 Spider-Man, and that is a huge plus because that game feels great to play. I did not play it with all the bells and whistles on the PS5. I played it on my Pro, and it still looks great. It runs smoothly. It's just it's so good to look at. And everything Anthony was talking about earlier hits it on the head. The sense of community in this game that Miles has, like he has a support system that Peter doesn't really have. Peter only trusts like 2 or 3 people for this whole thing, and Miles just brings so many people into his life, whether it's his family or just people who own businesses. Just like the sense of community and home that Harlem has for him is outstanding. Like I always get choked up. I watched Tessa finish it the other night, but when the guy says that's our Spider-Man, like that affects me emotionally because Spider-Man is not just Peter. Spider-Man is an idea. Anybody can be Spider-Man. Anybody can wear the mask, and just to have 2 Spider-Men now, it's really great, and I'm excited to see what they do with the sequel. I still think the sequel is going to be heavily Peter focused. But this game is exceptional. So many quality of life upgrades too, like the crime app. That was a genius move,
Yes, it was.
both from a thematic standpoint and a gameplay perspective, like being able to choose the crimes you want to do. If you have a trophy, if you're trying to get all the trophies, like, oh, I need to finish and get 3 stars on a breaking and entering. Oh, let me pick it real quick. And it's just Miles Morales is a fantastic game, and everyone should play it. And it's my number 3.
Okay, cool. Frank,
I bet you won't guess what my number 3 is.
Super Mario.
No, it's Miles Morales.
Okay,
wow.
all right, cool.
It's also Miles Morales. I'm not going to waste time by saying everything that's already been said here. What everybody said is already what I was going to say. The only thing I would have to say is just why it's so low on my list as number 3 instead of like number 1. I would say it definitely felt more like a DLC than a full release game. I understand it's only $40, but I clocked it at 3 hours of actual story. If you actually just play the story through, it's 3 hours of story.
Jesus.
The rest of the side content is like, I'd say 10 hours maybe. So like I platinumed it 2 days in. So it's not a very long game, especially for $40. The best parts about it is how great it looks. Like, put it on at the time, the 60 FPS fidelity mode wasn't a thing, but 60 FPS performance, oh my god, that game looks amazing.
It looks so good.
that game plays like a dream, just web swinging through a city. Like compared to Spider-Man PS4 played really well, but it was always missing that smoothness. You know what I mean? Just like in the animations and everything like that, just watching it on your TV. But the first time you put Miles Morales on 60, it's a totally different game. It's literally a different game. And even playing the remaster on the PS5, it's a totally different game. But in terms of like what they changed in the thing, again, leaning towards it feels more like a DLC. They didn't really change much in terms like the combat department. They changed in terms of adding the venom punches and the venom attacks and everything.
Yeah.
But in terms of like adding stealth to Miles, they still didn't fix anything in the stealth department in the game. Like it's still Spider-Man PS4 stealth, which still feels like a sidelined, like we should maybe add the Arkham Asylum style stealth system into it. And then Miles Morales kind of does nothing with it other than some like scripted events where you use stealth.
Yeah, invisibility, I'd say, is the biggest thing.
Yeah, invisibility, and it's so underutilized in unscripted events that it's just like you don't really ever use the invisibility in combat unless you kind of are going for like a certain combo or something. But other than that, I mean, I can't wait to see what they add into the combat system and add into just like moving around the city for its next game.
Okay, cool.
Insomniac also is just are pretty much the kings now of animating just bodies.
Oh yeah, by
Like
far.
if you watch,
Sure.
just you have two different Spider-Man and they move and play completely different.
Yep.
Like Miles is much more agile. You can tell when he's web swinging, like he's able to like bend his leg like all the way back sometimes, and it's weird. But like Peter, like I've talked about on this show before and other shows, like Peter's a pro at this, and he's able to like I know exactly where I have to flip right here to make this move, and just yeah. Shout out to Insomniac. They are getting up there, which is like some of the best in terms of just animation.
Mm-hmm. They've been there since cracking time, in my opinion. But welcome to the club.
Let's get a Sunset Overdrive too.
Hell yeah! Now you're
Probably
speaking my
not gonna happen. I don't think. I'm
Yeah.
sorry to.
language.
I
Give
think
it a couple
Microsoft
years.
owns the IP, right?
Yeah, I think
Well,
Microsoft own that IP.
Yeah.
They don't own it anymore, or there's like a couple year expiration on that. So maybe next year or the year after it's out, it's over. So we'll see. I ain't holding my breath, but we'll see.
Yeah. So, my number 3 is none other than Sucker Punch's Ghost of Tsushima.
Ooh,
Here we go, boys.
All right,
We're getting into the good stuff now.
all right. I'll sit back. Tell me about it.
Ghost of Tsushima took me by surprise, where I just thought it was going to be another Ubisoft game, just like what people have always wanted, just set in feudal Japan, which it is, but it's so much more than that. The way that story ends, that decision that you have to make, I'm not going to go into spoilers, but the decision you have to make, it just, if you've been actually paying attention to the story, it hits you hard. And it was, I'm excited for the sequel, whenever that's going to be. Yeah, it was just such a great game. I love it so much. Yeah, I'm very excited for what happens next.
I'm surprised because I've said it before other places, but I haven't played Ghost of Tsushima yet, which is a damn shame because you're talking to the guy who platinum every Infamous game, and I'm like a massive Sucker Punch fan, but I guess I'm still earlier I was a little bit bitter that their next game wasn't an actual Infamous game, and
Yeah.
but it looks cool. So once I get a PS5, can play it at 60 frames. I have a copy. I just got to get to it, but
Yeah.
I'm glad to see it's getting some recognition, I guess.
There's only one
It's a beautiful
complaint.
game.
I only have one complaint. It's way too many Fox dens. That's it.
Shut up.
There's
Shut
not
up.
It's
that
just-
many Fox
shut
dens.
It's a lot of Fox dens, guys.
There's more haiku areas than Fox dens.
Well, okay, true. There's a lot of that, and it needs to like minimize.
there's more
just,
bath. I'm pretty sure there's more baths than Fox dens.
just minus by 10 each.
I mean,
one.
honestly, If you want to be honest, there's too many flower petals. They need to crank that down.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
too many
You're
too many
crazy.
cherry blossoms.
No,
God,
no,
there's
you're
too much
crazy.
beautiful things in this game.
No,
I wish
no,
they'd
You know,
turn
they should
it
really
off.
tone down the beautifulness.
Guys, it's a great game. I just have like a shit ton of fox ends that I had to do, which I wasn't a fan of. But
You
again,
pet everyone
yeah, I did pet everyone. Absolutely.
that you can. There's some parts where you can't pet all the foxes, and it makes me sad.
What? What do you mean?
Like sometimes the shrines were like on the face of a
Oh,
cliff,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
you like
yeah,
turn
yeah,
around,
yeah.
the fox
You
isn't
can't.
there.
Yeah.
Fox just dips.
Yeah.
Peace.
Okay. Ryan, number 2.
My number 2 game of the year is Hades.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Somebody had to pull this thing out from the bottom.
Okay.
And
I respect it.
Hades is a game that swept through my friend group in a weird way. There, people who really only play Animal Crossing, they got hooked into Hades. Hardcore gamers in my group got hooked into it. Everybody I know, we all got hooked into this game, and it was. I am a big roguelike person, and I like to make builds in games. So this game had a lot for me, where I love a game that I can play for 30 minutes, do a run, succeed, die, go again. That kind of gameplay has always been my kind of thing. The combat is some of the best I ever played in a roguelike. From the use of the boon system to the multiple weapons you have options to. They all flow perfectly. There's so many types of builds you can do. And to then just a really heartfelt story about family that I was not expecting from this roguelike. That for one, a roguelike to have a story is impressive. But for two, to be one of my favorite stories of the year, my second favorite story of the year. That is so impressive to me. That it made me feel real emotion, sadness, anger, happiness, all of this. And it was just so much fun to go through. I can't say that enough, that it was just a fun game. It was fun on a gameplay side. It had a bit of a dating sim in it with the different hearts and everything for the people you could romance. All of it was just so much fun. Every little bit of it. Definitely, if you haven't given it a shot yet, I know some people in here aren't big roguelikes people, but if you think you can like roguelikes, give it a try. It is just one of the best damn ones I've ever played. And that's why Hades gets my number 2 game of the year.
Okay. All right. I got to say, I wasn't expecting that. I thought that was going to be your number 1.
Yeah.
We know what his number 1 is because it's your number 1. So let's not
You might be
tiptoe around
surprised.
this.
You might be surprised. You might be surprised.
Oh, no. We'll see.
Yeah,
I don't even know how I feel yet. We'll wait.
We shall see.
Ooh.
Anthony, what's your number 2?
Square Enix put out 2 big games this year, and Marvel's Avengers.
Oh my
was
God.
Such a great time for me as a superhero person and as a big Kamala Khan fan, and as someone who has never done these, what do you call it, the games as a service thing. The superhero thing got me, you guys. Like, I am the big sucker that they wanted.
Listen, I don't know if you're trolling me very hard right
I'm
now.
really
I put
confused
so
right
many
now.
hours into this game, guys.
How? How
my
did you put so many
God.
hours? How did you find a game to put so many hours into?
Number 2. You know, a lot of people called this number 2 when it came out.
Yeah, and then
God,
they saw
fucking
how
love
much
you right
it
now,
sold.
That was a poop joke. Thank you all.
Oh my God.
If you guys want to talk, can you not do it outside my door?
Now, to be fair, I have not put in any money outside of buying the game, so they have
outside
not
my
earned
door.
extra money, but they
Hold on,
got my
guys.
legal
You're
purchase.
literally yelling right outside my door.
Hold up.
Okay.
I thought he was really upset about.
Yeah, I also thought I was really upset.
I thought that too. I thought it was a joke.
Frank, we thought you were really upset that he picked Marvel's Avengers. Oh man.
No, somebody was knocking at my door, and I was just like, "Yo,
Okay.
yeah.
That's cool. No worries.
No."
Yeah,
We need
okay.
to retcon it, make it that he was bad. And
I mean, yeah. I'm just gonna clip that also out and just be like, yeah, he left. He
Out of
just left.
context.
You know, at some point,
Hate
I was
this
just like,
game
maybe
so
I
much.
should just like fake leave to make it look like I was mad, but I was like, no, I'm just answering a knock at my door.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Okay. Sorry, Anthony.
All
Can
right.
it continue?
Izure.
Well, I really enjoyed the campaign. I'm a big Kamala Khan fan. I've been there since day one, and I'm excited for everyone to slowly get to know her. And then I'm a big third-person action guy. I'm not a big shooter. I don't play a lot of shooters. That's not my cup of tea. And so this really hit the spot for me in terms of the combat and everything. And so with what Kate Bishop just came out, and so it was fun to go back into that world, see those characters, hang out with them, and from the level progression in terms of unlocking your skills and stuff, it was funny to go back to level 1 with a character in that kind of world. To be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do my ground pound, like, you know, all the muscle memory I've built up playing this game, and to be like, oh, I've got to earn that again, and then I've got to get back into the flow. But it was nice to see them get more powerful as they go on, and to be able to do all the cool things that I want to do as an Avenger. Around with my friends, punching robots, we don't care. It's like our catch-up game, as everyone knows who's ever done live service. This is just my first big experience with that, and so it's made a big impression with me and my friend group.
Okay.
Oh. I respect the hell out of that. That's incredible.
Listen, Anthony, I don't know how this game became your number 2 pick, but I guess to each their own.
Bro.
Now, Anthony, I have a question for you. How does Kate Bishop play?
So she is, obviously she has a bow and arrow, so she could focus on a lot of the rage stuff. And in the marketing, you saw them with the teleportation and all that sort of stuff. And so she can have the portal thing. So like because if you try and explore the map, trying to get all the loot box things, all that sort of stuff, getting around can be a little bit annoying if you're not like Iron Man and you can fly, that sort of thing. So she has the portals to get around, but also if you get swarmed, you can use the portals as a kind of a get out and then regroup, refocus, and then kind of tackle everything. But then also with teleporting, she can teleport above enemies. So even though she is, when you're in melee range, it's sword combat, and you can, you know, deflect and dodge and all that sort of stuff. She could just get up above it and then just immediately go into the long range combat. Because like Iron Man, he has his punches, but primarily you want to be shooting your rockets and that sort of thing. And so she's a good blend of long range and close range. And so it's very fun for me.
Okay, that's cool.
Cool.
I respect it.
I guess I have to respect it too. I'm it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't
Well,
gotta
hey-
like it, but you gotta respect it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's it.
Well, I will say, you said earlier that you weren't a big shooter. Well, I, for one, am a big shooter, and probably the
Ooh.
biggest shooter that came
Oh.
out this year was Doom Eternal for number
Oh.
2.
I'm glad finally someone said it.
Yes, man, Doom Eternal, it deserves some respect. Now, I'm about to preach the good word of Doom. A lot of people didn't quite work with Doom Eternal. They didn't quite like it. A lot of people are saying it's too difficult, all that stuff. Let me tell you, we talked about this, Eric. Yeah, you're one of those people. The reason that I like Doom Eternal is because, yes, it is more challenging than the first game, but that's because it's more complex than the first game. Where the original game, it was just a shooter. You saw something, you shot it until it glowed, you went in for the glory kill, and that's pretty much all you thought about it. In Doom Eternal, there are so many more things that you have to worry about, where not only is it, okay, I gotta keep enemies alive so that I can get a glory kill for health. Now you also have to consider, all right, if I want some armor, let me get the flame belch and set them on fire before I kill them so I can get some armor from them. Oh, wait, if I need ammo, and ammo is a lot more scarce now, so it's more of a constant concern, let me make sure I have some chainsaw fuel so I can keep one of these enemies alive. And then on top of that, with each individual enemy, they all have different weaknesses that you have to take advantage of, or you're going to die instantly, where you're having to pop off cannons or pop off different body parts to make sure those are managed so that you can move your attention to other enemies. And you just have to juggle not just all of the enemies, but just all of these different mechanics all at the same time. And it feels like you're walking a tightrope while juggling. It's just really satisfying, and it's probably the most mentally stimulating game I've played. Where whenever I play Doom Eternal, I am in it. It is a tunnel vision ass game, and I just love it, man. It's just really captivating. Admittedly, the story is not like a thing I care about too much, but they put you in grand locations. They put you in grand, or they have you fighting grand bosses and whatnot, and it makes it really entertaining every time. I think Doom Eternal is one of the greatest games of the year, and I know a lot of people had problems with it, but I don't want to do the Dark Souls thing of just get good, but it's not just because it's mean for no reason. That's all I'm saying.
You gotta kind of get good. You don't sugarcoat it. Get good.
Well, you have to learn every part of it. It's not about just getting good at the same thing you've been doing. It's about learning to do other things on top of it.
EJ, we're gonna become best friends.
Exactly. Yeah, I respect that. Yeah, I'm glad someone else can put some respect on Doom.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about Doom right now, but we'll get to it.
Oh, okay, God, it's your number one, isn't it?
We'll get there.
Whoa. Well, let us get to it, Ruben.
Yeah. We'll get to it, Ruben. Why are you trying to...
I'm sorry.
This is a spoiler cast?
No, it's not a spoiler cast. I'm sorry. Eric, what's your number one? Oh, sorry, number
Ruben,
two. Number two.
Before I do this, I need you to go through the games again and where we stand on things.
Oh no.
Okay, well done. Well done.
I'm scared.
Okay.
Last of Us is winning.
Number one, actually, Miles Morales is winning with 10 points.
10 points?
Okay.
Yes. Number two is Hades.
Okay.
And also, sorry, number two, tied for second place, is Hades and Last of Us with both 5 points. Marvel's Avengers, Doom Eternal, and... No, actually, just those two are tied for third with 4 points each. Persona 5 Royale and Dreams are tied with 3 points. And Rogue Company, Sackboy, Warzone, Yakuza Like a Dragon are tied for, I believe I said fourth place? I don't remember.
Fifth place?
Fifth place. Yeah. And then the last one is Crosscode with 1 point.
All right. So let me continue with Emmett's thing and say that I like Doom Eternal from a gameplay perspective is really good. Like it's such good shooting. My biggest problem was that they focused too heavily on lore stuff. That's just my problem with it. Like I don't need to know who the Doomslayer is. Just point me at a demon and let me go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say from that perspective, Doom Eternal. I wouldn't say it's disappointing to me that they focus too much on a thing I didn't want, but like Doom Eternal still like feels good to play. I just need to rip and tear. I don't need to have a reason to do that. All right, so we're about to get dragged if people hear this because right now we have Hades and Last of Us at tied for second place. We're about to have a true second place person right here because let me tell you about Marvel's Avengers. Let me tell you about Marvel's
All right, I'm
Avengers.
actually leaving. Bye.
Incredible.
You cannot do this to me, okay?
With second place with 8 points, we have Square Enix's published Crystal Dynamics made Marvel's Avengers. That's right, Hades. More like bad person, either way.
More like I hate these picks. Get out of here.
There we go.
Right,
oh
so
my
much better.
God. That was so much better.
Right. All right. So I
I'll
will
be
say this
right
off the
back.
bat.
Give me 1 second. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
You don't even want to hear you don't even hear
No,
this stuff.
I gotta lock my door because people keep coming in.
Hurry up and lock your door because you're going to hear this. We're just gonna
Lock
we're just
yourself
gonna-
in.
I'll be
'cause you're
right
gonna-
back.
This
I'll
is
be
gonna
right
be a doozy.
we're gonna hear some time. We're gonna kill some time right here. Ruben got the fresh cut of just nothing with a bald head. He's rocking it.
Look,
You're cutting my
having a
heart
bald
out
head
with
must be nice.
these
You
That
know?
was back. That's it.
Okay,
What's like having
let
a
me-
bald head?
Oh, I just shaved it today, so it's
That's what I'm
pretty
saying. How
Let me-
baby smooth is that? Like, can you see your reflection in that, or
good. I mean, you tell me.
There's
Well,
a
yeah,
little bit
there's
of
a
ray
little-
tracing on that.
Yeah,
There's a little bit of ray
RTX
tracing on that. I like that.
Just
Okay.
RTX on.
Yeah.
So let me get this out of the way. Like, there are a lot of problems with this game. Like, as someone who plays a lot of live service games, there's a lot of problems with this. Like, there's so much repetitiveness that's reminding me of like early Destiny stuff, Destiny 1, Destiny 2 stuff, where you just have to play the same things over and over and over again. The loot system is not great. Like, I don't like the fact that when I get loot, it doesn't look any different. Like everything looks the same. Like my Hulk, even if I have a different build than Anthony's, it's going to look the exact same unless we have this different, cosmetic skins on. I don't like that. But this year was very. I mean, there's so many adjectives we could use to describe 2020, and one of them for me was cynical. Like this year brought out the worst in a lot of people. For a lot of different reasons, whether it's loss of family, just loss of beloved celebrities, stuff like that. But
Mhm.
the central theme of this game is hope. And Kamala Khan really is the best new character this year because she was so hopeful about everything. Now, she kind of had the same naivete as most people have when they're young, but she really like stood for something. She really um the Avengers were an idea that no matter what bad things happen, they're still the Avengers and they inspire hope. And as you play the campaign and things seem dark, working together as a team really brought out the best in everybody. It brought out this humanity that really was a nice spark for me this year. Like like with Spider-Man, like it was a nice comforting blanket that I could wear and forget about all the terribleness of this year for me personally and just thinking about the world in general. It's weird that I'm having this nice emotional thought when talking about Avengers.
I'm just
It
like
is
I have
pretty
the image of Avengers in my head of just like everybody T-posing.
I was just thinking of
everybody
like the
just,
teeth coming out of
Yeah,
Roger's
like
face.
this game has a lot of bugs, but like that very beginning when you're Kamala as a young kid and you meet all the Avengers, it is outstanding. Shout out to the writers at Crystal Dynamics. Shout out to the performer of Kamala Khan. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she did such an exceptional job. And like Anthony said, this game is just super fun to play. Like even though it's super repetitive, I had fun just smashing robots with Cap Shield or throwing Mjolnir at them. Like Tessa sometimes be like, "Oh my god, you're still playing Avengers?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm having a blast with this game. I play this game solo. I don't play with anybody else." And it's good to see that they've listened to a lot of problems that people have, which there are a lot. Like they just added the new system where you can tell AI characters to smash down a door because that was nice.
Thank
Because
God.
I kind of wanted like an Ultimate Alliance thing where you could just like switch on the fly between characters, but I guess you can't really do that with this game. So it's nice that they're adding stuff and they realize like this game is going to be around for a long time. And so, like with live service games, this game is going to be the best version of itself with a little time. Like next year, Avengers is going to probably look completely different because we're going to get Clint, we're going to get Peter Parker, possibly T'Challa
God, I
in the
hope. I
game.
don't know how that works, but I'm hoping.
Like I'm really nervous for how their Spider-Man kit is going to be in this game. I'm really nervous, especially coming off of 2018 Spider-Man and Miles. Like it's just going to feel so weird. But that's my big thing. Why it's number 2. It inspired hope in me this year when I really needed it. So that's why Avengers is my number 2, and I look forward to playing more of it.
I respect it. I respect it.
Yes, indeed. I'm still reeling from the fact you put that as number. Both of you put that as number 2, but I'll take my lumps now, I guess.
Ruben doesn't look happy. Ruben's like, you just stole it. You just stole Last
That's
of Us.
because it's above Last of Us right now for a little bit of time right now. For right now, Avengers is a well-beloved more game than Last of Us Part 2. So I will take that.
Did bad and I like
Hey,
it.
at least Last of Us has like different gameplay, right?
I'm going to tell you right now.
No, I mean,
So-
sorry. At least Avengers has different gameplay than Last of Us.
So
yeah,
help
each
me
person
God.
feels different.
So help me God. If this is the first time we do a Game of the Year podcast discussion,
And Avengers is number
and if
1.
Avengers wins number 1,
These are the only 2 votes that Avengers is going to get. I
that
promise you. Unless,
well, you don't know that. You don't know that. That's how 2020 wraps. I want you to know. It's going to start
Dude.
off as a shit show, and it's going to end off as a shit show.
what if Avengers is in our top 5? Oh my god!
Oh, it probably will after
It's
this.
definitely in our top 5
It's
because
so
of
great.
you. All right.
Here's
Let's
ruined
go,
it.
Anthony.
Dreams got snubbed again. Swear to God.
Okay.
Avengers is going to be probably higher than Hades right now.
Having said that,
We're going to get dragged by everybody.
we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We still have a couple more picks left.
Yeah, we'll let the show go on.
Unfortunately, we will let the show go on. Frank, what's your number 2, buddy?
Here.
Avengers.
Don't fuck
You're
with
kidding.
me. Don't you
No,
fuck
you're
with
kidding.
me, okay?
No, I'm joking.
Okay, good.
12 points, baby, number 1.
I feel like I'm the only one who played this game. Half-Life Alyx is my number 2 for this year.
Okay.
Yeah. Half-Life Alyx did everything a VR game should. Like, you know how you like buy a VR like anything and you expect how it should play? That's how Half-Life Alyx does. Everything before Half-Life Alyx does not do a good job at making you feel like you're immersed in a universe. You have guns usually in other games. You have like some crappy AI to kind of go with it, but Half-Life Alyx just makes you feel like you're in City 17. You're actually fighting things that actually react to how you hit it. The world around you, just like grabbing things from like shelves to like see if you can find more items to scrap, or pulling the gun out of your backpack and even just reloading them felt really great. In story wise, it doesn't do anything new in the story department in terms of just like structure, but in VR, just having that normal like roller coaster ride of just like get from point A to point B with enemies stopping you along the way feels a lot different than when you're in a first person or third person game and just rushing through people, because you legitimately have to use yourself to fight. You're not some like auto aiming, champ. You're actually aiming the stuff yourself and shooting these enemies yourself, which means you're gonna have to use stuff like cover. You're gonna have to use stuff like grenades. You're gonna have to use stuff like actually aiming your gun. It's really fun. It's really amazing. If anybody here is even a fan of the Half-Life story, its ending is completely bonkers, and it's really great to see Valve like return to form once again and just make something quality, make something that appeases to its fans, and make something that is just what they do, which is innovate the industry. And this is innovation in VR, and I hope I can't wait to see what they do with this technology later on down the road.
Now, I have one question for you, and I think you know where it is.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we get Half-Life 3 finally?
Does anybody even care about the ending to that game?
Ending to Half-Life Alyx?
Yeah.
I mean, I get the feel. I haven't played Half-Life Alyx, but from what people are saying, I have a feeling that people's desires for a Half-Life 3 would be affected by the ending of Alyx in some way.
Okay.
Because I can tell you something that's not very spoiler to Half-Life Alyx, but I can tell you something that's spoiler to the Half-Life universe if you'd like.
Does Gordon Freeman come back in this game?
Do you want me to answer this?
No.
Yes or no? I need a consensus.
No.
Yes.
I would say no, because I was about to take off my
Gordon
headphones.
Freeman in a Half-Life game?
Let me rephrase the question. Could Half-Life 3 happen?
I will say this. Just 100%. Half-Life 3 is happening.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
All
right.
Thank you.
I gotta buy
You can watch the. Like I said, if you don't want to, there's a few endings to this game. One of them obviously is the ending to Half-Life Alyx, and there's some other stuff that kind of connects into it. But it's a definitive yes. We're going to be seeing Gordon Freeman very soon, probably.
Okay. Cool.
He's coming to
Delicious.
Smash Bros.
He's coming to Smash. He's the new Smash character.
Honestly,
it's just a Minecraft trailer, but it's Gordon not talking.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Good God.
Wake up, Mr. Mario.
I just want his card to say "Prepare for unforeseen consequences."
Yeah. Oh boy, that would be good.
Crowbar.
Okay, guys.
All right, Ruben, let's hear it.
Number 2. My number 2. Are you ready for this?
Let's crack it open.
Watch Dogs Legion.
Watch logs.
Watch Logs.
Wait, excuse me?
Watch Dogs Legion.
Watch logs?
Microsoft
it's-
Excel for
wait.
Game of the Year.
Hold on. You
it's not
literally
Watch Dogs
came
Legion.
into a Discord party and said Watch Dogs 2 is the biggest piece of shit I played this year.
Which is why
So-
it's number 2. Because if you're gonna take a deuce, why not leave it
You're
at
a
number
fucking
2?
liar.
Of course
You're a
I'm a
fucking
liar.
Which one is it?
All right, guys.
Oh, I was about to say, good God.
I have 2 games tied for number 1, and I don't know who I'm gonna pick.
You got
But here
to.
it goes. Here it goes.
Gotta do it. You gotta pick it.
The actual great Square Enix game that came out this year,
Another one.
Final
Another
Fantasy
I
VII
am
Remake.
shocked. I thought this was going to be number 1 for you easily.
I thought so too, but we'll see what happens with number 1. Why did I keep saying Watch Dogs? Final
Watch
Fantasy Final Fantasy VII Remake was by far the greatest JRPG game I have ever played.
Okay.
Yes, you know how, notice how I worded that perfectly.
You were towing the line there. You were
Yes.
like, I was like, greatest JRPG. Like, if you say of all time, I swear to God, I'm gonna find a way
no.
to go.
I've
there.
ever played.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Final Fantasy VII, the original, was by far one of my favorite games of all time, and I think Final Fantasy VII Remake just took it up a notch. The only reason why it's not number 1 is because 1, we don't know how many parts to this story we're gonna get, and 2, it's not the full game, obviously. But what they did to
but it's
these,
a complete game.
it's still a complete game, but I already know what the complete game is, so I can't really call it number 1. Does that make sense, Eric?
Yeah, man, we got to wait for that part 2. Wink, wink.
Oh boy!
And then part 3.
And now
Which is just
Nomura's
the
having to
ending.
do that in Kingdom Hearts 4. So I mean, his time, where's it gonna go?
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's going straight to Kingdom Hearts 4. All right?
Yeah,
I'll see you guys
boys, let's
I'll see
go.
you guys in 20 years.
Yeah. Listen, Nomura knows what he's doing. All right, Nomura knows what he's doing. He failed
Let
us.
Nomura.
me down before.
He let
FF7 Remake Part 2 is gonna be a PS6 like exclusive like launch title.
he let me down with Kingdom Hearts 3, but that's okay because he brought it back with Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Oh my
Indeed.
god, those character designs were phenomenal. The art style of those character designs were phenomenal. Yes, the backgrounds were pretty much JPEGs that followed you around. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I wasn't focusing on the backgrounds, guys. I was focusing about what the fuck was happening with all these characters. I liked how he teased us with all the hints that he gave us, like, oh, this is not the Final Fantasy VII you think. Everybody thought he was lying. This was not the Final Fantasy VII we thought it was going to be. But I'm glad it wasn't, because I want to see Nomura go full on Nomura, and I can't wait. What?
Who thought this wasn't going to be the Final Fantasy VII they thought it was going to be? It's literally in the title, Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yes, but people just thought that they were just going to leave it as the original game and just remake it from top to bottom. So, I know I was caught off guard with whatever happened at the end. I'm not going to spoil that. But I was definitely caught off guard with that.
It's a rhythm game suddenly. Actually, I feel like I've seen rhythm game in this game, so it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You had that DS game, the Final Fantasy like rhythm game
Yeah.
for DS. I
Theater Rhythm.
cannot remember what it was called. Theater Rhythm. There you go.
And that's my number 2.
All right, it's respectable. Respectable.
All right. Now let's start breaking some hearts.
It's a
Ryan.
good game. Final Fantasy VII Remake is a good game. I know I like to give you shit for it, but
But it's not a good
is-
game. It's a great game.
It's for me, it's a good game. There's a lot of things I don't like with it,
Okay.
but I can't deny that it's a good game.
Okay. I waited 5 years for this game, Eric.
Good.
I'm gonna continue
Yo,
to give you shit.
I
for this game.
waited how long for Kingdom Hearts 3? So no.
I also waited how long for Kingdom Hearts 3? I'm right there in the trenches with you, you know? But
I'm just messing with you. Like it's a good game.
It was a long
I
time.
recommend it to people.
okay, good. Thank you.
All right, here we go.
Ryan, hit me with your number one.
Some people will say the game that I picked for number one is a good game. Some will call it a great game. To me, it's a damn masterpiece, and that's Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, buddy. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Masterpiece is a very strong word. I really want. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Remember, this game has
Final Fantasy-
octagonal doorknobs.
And I don't care.
It's got Tifa, so
Final
that's
Fantasy
that's a
got
plus.
boobs.
It has teeth. Final Fantasy VII Remake is a game that, one, I never thought we were actually going to get this game. This game, 5 years, they've been teasing this since the PS3. They shoot cloud and promotional work for the PS fucking 3. This game has been in the back burner for years now, and I never thought we were going to get it. And for it to finally come out and actually be so fucking good is, one, impressive. Because Nomura, again, you asked me with Kingdom Hearts 3, waited a long time, put a lot of side games, everything. You didn't stick the landing.
No.
You stuck the landing here.
Yes.
With fantastic combat, such a good way to do that combat system in a new way that keeps the bit of action that we're getting used to with 13 and in fucking 15 with the combat, but not as button mashy as 15, so you can still pause, do your materia, do all that kind of thing. Special attacks is fantastic. The route the story's going and the little hints and everything has me very excited. And it's the only game on this list that I can say I've played twice. Because I went back 2-3 weeks ago to really see if this game is my favorite game I played this year. And god damn it was. It gives me emotion. It gives me a fantastic story, fantastic gameplay, and just it's so good to be in this world again. As a game I grew up playing, to get back to this world, to get back to Midgar and explore, go on these adventures and this epic quest once again in a brand new way. It's so much fun. I can't wait for 17 years when I get to play the second part of it. Final Fantasy VII Remake is my game of the year.
Wow.
Okay.
Shout out to the Honeybee in scene because that scene slaps.
Oh god damn it!
It's so good.
I will take all of
I
your
wasn't
word.
prepared for how good it was.
Okay. Ryan, you started something, and I want everybody to continue that. Just at the end of your spiel, just say my game of the year for 2020 is blank, blank, blank.
Okay. I like it.
Anthony, hit me with your best shot. You're muted.
Oh yeah. What do you get?
I've been talking this whole
Nothing was
time.
number one. Avengers is number one for him. He didn't say anything.
Avengers is on the list twice.
Yeah.
Actually.
No,
Christ.
The deluxe edition.
Yes.
I bought that
No,
one.
I did too.
Ghost of Tsushima is my game of the year.
Whoa. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Here we go.
I'm glad Ghost is getting some recognition. You know.
Points on the board.
For me, I am a big kind of Ubisoft kind of person. I do like my open worlds. I do like my third-person action, as I've stated previously. And we don't get a lot of historical Japan in these sorts of times with this sorts of combat. A lot of the games that are set in this kind of time period are not this sort of genre. They tend to be like JRPGs or like the top-down strategy sort of things. And so this is a very fun kind of way to kind of interact with Japan in this kind of way. And then I am a big Sucker Punch fan. I've been enjoying a lot of their games since I was young. And so it's for me, it's great to see everyone kind of recognize them for all of their talent and their hard work. And I thought that, as you said, Rube, the choice spectacular. And so we will leave it at that, along with the beautiful world and everything that they did, the hard work they did. The film was the film grain and the black, the nods to the samurai culture and all that. I thought it was just a great game. So that is my game of the year, Ghost of Tsushima.
I also want to point out that I don't remember which developers, but there were some Japanese developers that looked at the game and they were like, "Holy shit, you guys nailed this!" So
Yeah,
wanna
they said
say it was
they said they
Suda or
were supposed to. They said
No, it's
we were
Yakuza
supposed to
guys.
be the
Go ahead.
ones who should have done this.
yes,
Like, you did a good job in making a game about Japan when Japanese developers are like, damn, we should have been the one to make this.
so
Like, that's
I really want Sucker Punch to know that it was a really great, beautiful game.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, that I feel like you're hinting that it's not going to be number one, but hey, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
No, I don't know. You guys are wild
Right.
cards. I don't know.
It's
All right, we'll see.
we'll see.
We'll see.
All right, well, my number one is a very divisive one. It's come up a bunch of times on here. I've saved most of my opinions about it until now because Last of Us Part 2 is my number one.
There we go.
Here's the thing, man. I know a lot of people now forget about the controversy with like the character switching and all the leaks that happen ahead of time. There's a lot of people out there who don't like the game strictly because they don't like the aggressive violence of it and the overwhelming amount of it, or they don't like the certain characters' fates that happen near the start of the game. Now, here's my thing. I really love the game, but the reason I love the game, because I'm also like everyone else, where I didn't need a sequel. I wasn't hoping or anticipating a sequel. I thought the first game was damn near perfect. It's one of my favorite games of all time. But they really earned the fact that they made a sequel once I got to the end of this game. Because if the first game felt timeless in a way where you're hearing all these different stories and you're taking a little bits from all different types of post-apocalyptic fiction to make this game that felt timeless because it is pulling from so much. The Last of Us Part 2 feels like it's doing the complete opposite of that. And also, y'all can hear me, right? Because I cannot hear myself right now.
Yes.
Oh no, you're muted.
Okay, we're good. All right. So yeah, The Last of Us Part 2, it can't do that again. You can't do the same exact thing twice, and that's what I feared they were going to try and do. Instead, they made a very personal, very specific story that had a much more direct and singular message. And that message, I know, Eric, you talked earlier about it's been a very cynical year and it's been a very rough year, and I agree with that. But I feel like I got just as much hope from the final hours of The Last of Us Part 2 than I got with damn near any game, where a lot of games make me feel happy, hopeful, all that. But The Last of Us Part 2 drug you through the mud emotionally and just was brutal to see, brutal to experience. It was just a gauntlet of trauma. But at the end of the day, it still chose joy. At the end of the day, it still felt like a story that was worth telling because no matter how much horrible things can happen, and I think this is kind of the theme of the game, no matter how much you go through, you are still capable of good. And the game itself is emblematic of that theme, where no matter how much horrible shit is in the game that you have to do yourself often, at the end of the day, the actual core message is very sweet and very necessary for where I was at in this year personally. So I'm really grateful for the game. I'm really thankful that it came out. I know it took a lot of hard work, maybe even more hard work than you would, want for this development team. I know the conditions and things there have been questionable at best, but ultimately, I don't think any of it was worth it. But I think that the art that came from it definitely affected me in a way that I don't think I'm going to forget for a really long time. So, Last of Us Part 2. Excellent stuff.
All right.
It is my game of the year.
So, let me give you a revised list. I'm only going to do the top 5 because actually,
we got too many now.
I can't do top 5 because I don't know what Eric's going to pick. So, I'm just going to give you the whole
You know
list.
what I'm going. Like, if you paid attention to me at all this year, you know what my number one is.
Yeah, I bet I know. God damn it.
I guess I really don't know what your number one is going to be, but we'll see. We'll see. With 10 points, Miles Morales and The Last of Us at number 1. Number 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake with 9 points. Tied for 3 is Ghost of Tsushima and unfortunately Marvel's Avengers with 8 points.
Unfortunately,
Number 4 is Hades with 5 points. Number 5 is Doom Eternal with Half-Life Alyx for 4 points. Number 6 is going to be Dreams and Persona 5 Royal with 3 points. And Animal Crossing is number 6 with 2 points. And Crosscode is number 7 with 1 point.
Damn, RIP Crosscode.
I mean, listen,
Crosscode.
I didn't expect
How can you guys do this at Crosscode?
an indie.
No?
I didn't expect an indie to win this, but that's okay.
Is that on Game Pass?
I'm not sure, but it could be. I don't think.
I believe it is, but I'm gonna look it up right now.
Okay.
Did you say what Ghost of Tsushima is?
Say that one more time.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass. I'll
Yep.
install it right now.
Ghost of Tsushima is tied for 3rd place with 8 points with Avengers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I put Avengers just had 3rd place. I got worried.
No.
Lord have mercy. Travesties.
Yeah. Eric, what is your game of the year for 2020?
Like I said, if you have been paying attention to anything I say at all this year, you know exactly what my number 1 game is, and that is Sucker Punch's Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay.
So this game, I think the number 1 take I can say about this is, so Sly Cooper series, fantastic. Thieves of Time is pretty good, but the original trilogy, fantastic. Infamous, just 1 and 2 are exceptional. Second Son, it was really good.
Yeah.
It's not as good as 2.
Fair.
But they knocked it out of the park with this game. Like, I had no idea they could make a game this quality. There's a reason why it won Best Art Direction at Game Awards. This is the most beautiful world I have ever seen in a game. Like, going through the Golden Forest, going through just the swamps with the flowers in them, and walking across the wooden bridges, just the rolling hills, especially the opening card when you're riding your horse and it just cuts to the title, is exceptional. This game just is so beautiful, and it's the most photos I've ever taken in any photo mode. It's an exceptional photo mode. And also the Kurosawa mode is great. I didn't play it with that. I got a little bit tired with it after a little bit, but it was fun for about maybe 15 minutes to turn on because I just wanted to see all those colors. The combat is great. It takes a sec to get used to, but once you're able to master those parries and, you know, use your smoke bomb to get out of there and then ghost assassinate everybody, it's wonderful. Some of it reminded me of the fear takedowns from Arkham Knight, where you can take down like 3 people at once without them even knowing. Ranged combat was okay. Like the bow and arrow stuff was bow and arrow stuff if you wanted to use it. Like like with Breath of the Wild, I like the minimalistic HUD. Like when you get out of combat and your health bar and everything just fades away, and it's just there's nothing on the screen except you just exploring, is wonderful. I love the realism of it. I like that it didn't get too crazy mystical with Japanese culture. Now Legends changes that, and it gets crazy, you know, far out there with everything. But I appreciated the story. I played the whole game in Japanese, so I don't know how well the English cast is, but the Japanese cast was really good. We haven't had a good dual morality story in a while, probably since Mass Effect 3. So it was nice to see what you think is the more honorable side of samurai may not be the case.
Yeah.
You may have to go, you know, dark side in a way just to protect your people. And so I love that morality that Jin has to go through in this game. The music is outstanding. Sometimes it's just the flutes, and then you have these big orchestral pieces for when you're fighting. I think it was you said earlier, Ruben, the finale for this game is outstanding. And I'd put it right up there with some of the best. I would say this is going to sound like pretentious and stuff like that. I put it up there with some of the best cinema I've seen. Just like that ending moment in the game, just from the cinematography to like the emotions you feel, and they really just surprised me. I think the reason why this is number one is how much Sucker Punch surprised me with putting out a game that I don't think I didn't play anything else. Like when I played Avengers and stuff, I was playing other things. Like this was the game where this was all I was focused on. And it was coming off a time when I was mainly playing my PC all the time. And then it was just, I was playing my PlayStation. That's all I was doing. So the game is exceptional. And that is why Ghost of Tsushima is my game of the year.
Wow.
So, the reason why I wasn't sure which one you were going to pick was because I could have sworn you had already picked it, but no, that was me when you chimed in. So that's why I couldn't tell which one.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying you had chimed in when I was talking about Ghost of Tsushima. So okay. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So just a heads up, Ghost of Tsushima is in the lead with 13 points right now. And thank God.
You know what? Fine.
I was really hoping it wasn't going to be Marvel's Avengers. So thank God for that.
Yeah, as long as it's not Marvel's
probably-
Avengers, it's fine.
It sounds like it's going to be in the top 5, though.
I mean, the top 5 it doesn't matter, you know. What difference does it make?
We're doing the
If
top
it-
5.
being first or
Well, we
last.
have
Hey man, we only got a podium for the first 3, so
Exactly. Thank you.
that's
But
how it
hey,
is.
Siege does the thing where like number 1 is in the center, and you got 2 and 3 offset. Then you got 4 and 5 offset.
Yeah,
Hey, there's no
that's
terrorists in my
just-
house. I think we're good on this.
Yeah.
4 and 5 are participation trophies.
Yeah, exactly. Like exactly.
And if Avengers gets that participation trophy, I'll be okay with that.
Yeah.
You monsters. You're all monsters.
It's like, we
Monsters.
could just tweet Crystal Dynamics. Hey guys, just so you know, your hard work is appreciated.
Somebody's
I mean, their hard work
appreciating
is appreciated. Don't get me wrong with that, but I don't want them to win.
Yeah. We're already given the gold, the silver, the bronze. We don't have opal. We don't
Yeah,
have a
we use-
I didn't even know opal was a
Myrrh.
color.
Let's use frankincense.
Oh, I was using
something.
like minerals,
No,
but
I know,
even
I
that
know.
might be wrong. I don't even know. Anywho,
I don't know why I said color, but anyway.
We use Shrek
You
green.
have chocolate coin.
Okay,
Speaking of Shrek, did y'all see that it got put in the library?
I
of
did see
Congress?
that, and I was really surprised. Really surprised. I love how they nonchalantly put that in there. They were like, "Oh, Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight, Shrek, and something else," and I'm like, "Wait, what? No, that's
But,
not
like,
how that
it's
goes."
undeniably a part of our culture at this point. So like,
It
Yeah,
is, unfortunately.
Has become love and
I mean,
life.
Shrek 2 is better, but I mean,
yeah,
like-
but there's some. Oh boy.
Anywho, let's get
Yeah,
back
yeah.
on topic. Frank, what's your game of the year for 2020?
The Last of Us. I'm not just playing now. Doom Eternal. Doom
Wow.
Eternal is my game of the year.
Oh,
Yeah.
hashtag fuck Avengers. Now,
Fuck Avengers, yo.
You know what? I
Suck
like
my
it. I
dick,
like it.
Avengers.
I like
Anthony, we started a movement, just so you know.
it.
Yeah, Doom Eternal. So I play a lot of games. I've played every game that we've talked about, every game that everyone's talked about. Honestly, this year's felt, in terms of technology, all these games are insanely great. But there's only one game that kind of stood out to me in terms of like innovating what they do, and that was Doom Eternal. Now, on the outside, people are gonna look at Doom Eternal like Doom Eternal is just some random like run and gun shooter. It's not. There is an insane amount of love, an insane amount of detail, and an insane amount of just like differences in terms of gameplay compared to other id titles. For starters, the game literally starts with like an ominous warning, and any Doom fan already knows what's coming. Like as soon as you start up the game, it plays a theme called At Eternal's Gate. and you listen to it, you're like, this sounds familiar. And you realize it's Doom. It's literally the ending to Doom 2. And you're like, oh shit, that's only one other person this could be. The Icon of Sin, who is like blatantly in the trailers and stuff like that. So you're just like, oh, we're doing it. We're doing hell on earth. It's and you play it, and immediately you just get thrown into the game. You just get thrown in there. You're already kind of like all bossed up. It's not like Doom 1 where you're just like kind of wimpy. You got a little pistol. You know, it doesn't really do much. No, you are already bossed out. You're in. You're just punching things like normal and everything like that. You play a little bit of it, and you realize something. Games start shitting on you pretty hard, and you're like, "What is going on here?" And you start to learn. You start to think about it. Like, okay, how do I get through these people? And it becomes a trend. Like you get a new enemy, and usually it shows up as a boss, and you fight it, and it's like 30-minute fight, and you're like, oh crap, man, I don't ever want to fight these guys again. They just start showing up as normal enemies now. So you have to know like how to just like fight these enemies, and you start to get into it. Like I played this game on Nightmare, not Ultra Nightmare, the one that's the crazy one, but like the hardest before you don't have to like restart the whole game every time you die. And you have to really kind of learn these enemies. You got to learn like what actually stops them quick. Because if you don't stop the big ones quick, the little ones will mob you to death. And you will get killed by the big ones at the same time. So you got to kind of learn. And eventually, it turns into... You kind of forget about the whole like learning mechanics thing. And you just start like kind of muscle memorying these things.
Reacting.
Like arachnids... Bam! Shoot it in the turret, done. You don't even have to worry about it. Hell Knights, shoot it with some rockets, it's already kind of staggered, you're done. Big bloaty guys, I can't remember their name, you just hit them with like a pulse, all their armor's gone, they're basically done. Like, you start getting into it, and coupled with the music, it becomes a giant rhythm game. And you just get into it. You don't think about it anymore. You're just destroying demons over and over again. And in a way, that makes you feel more like the Doomslayer than I have ever seen out of any FPS, out of any Doom game. By the end of this game, and anybody who's played it already knows the ending of the game, but the final boss is literally it's like, hey, everything you've ever learned throughout this whole game, we're throwing it at you, plus a giant boss. Have fun. And by the time you finish that boss, you are the Doomslayer. There is no question about it. You didn't just run and gun your way through it. You are the like quintessential character by the end of that. And no other game has made me feel that accomplished by beating a boss than Doom Eternal. And that's why Doom Eternal for me is game of the year, bar none.
Bro, you ever go to like a black church and whenever they're preaching, they're just like, yeah, well, background. That's me internally the entire time you spoke. Because I was just like, I agree with all of this.
Yeah, Doom Eternal hits different, I'll tell you that.
Yes, for real, dude. That game is amazing.
It's especially nice when you can have the Doom 2 soundtrack play in your Fortress of Solitude and just running around doing stuff. Like it's so good.
Yeah.
I wish it was better. It's one of those things for me, like I wish Doom Eternal, I loved it more because there's so much good with that game.
Hey man,
there's so much love.
Give another chat.
Yeah, there is so much love put into that game from the devs. It's honestly, and I don't say this about a lot of games because it just like, it for some people it doesn't make any sense, but it's the gamiest game I've played this year. Like,
true.
Not everything has to be a great like story-driven idea, because a lot of times when story's the pedestal, then gameplay's down here. Whereas Doom, it's gameplay up here. You can kind of care less about the story. If you care about Doomslayer's story, you can always just read lore. But in terms of gameplay, they nailed it A1.
It's funny you bring that up, because the way me and my friends have always described Doom Eternal is it's not a better Doom game than Doom 2016, but it's a better game than Doom 2016.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's how I've always put it.
Yeah, Doom 1 is definitely feels more like old school Dooms, where it's just here's an arena, here's guns, go crazy. Whereas Doom Eternal kind of mixes a little bit of Quake in there. It mixes a little bit. It's a little bit of everything that it's done just in one game. and it definitely blends well and feels really innovative for like an FPS title.
Yeah, I'd say Doom Eternal felt like it was actually trying to innovate more, where the first Doom was just like, let's hit all the notes they know. And Eternal was like, all right, let's make our own lane in this shooting genre finally. And hot damn, they really did something special with that one.
I hope they get like a contract or something. Microsoft has to give them something Halo related. Because if I can get Spartan combat that feels like Doom combat, man.
The grunts are
It's
like,
over.
oh my god!
Just wait. We'll get Halo Finite right after Infinite, and then it'll be really good.
Halo Eternal.
And I'm glad
Halo
you bring.
Eternal.
I'm glad you bring Halo Infinite.
Is that your game of the year?
Doom guy
it's
would
not out.
also
Because
destroy Master
guys,
Chief.
I didn't tell you. I got a copy of Halo Infinite.
Oh, okay. You do.
I want to see
Oh,
what
you're playing,
And by
you playing
far,
Fortnite?
it was the worst game I've ever played. No, I'm kidding. I haven't touched it. I haven't touched it
How
at
did
all.
how did the brutes look?
going somewhere.
I try. I really wanted to.
That was Craig.
Craig was such a pain in the ass. All he kept on asking me was, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" And it was really annoying.
What are you doing in my swamp?
Yeah.
My Craig beat up this guy one Friday night, and we got all our chains back off of him. That's a Friday reference.
Okay. All right. Okay. I thought it was just a random.
Yo, but
reference.
that's his grandma's chain, man.
Yeah.
Don't like that.
Oh boy.
I was trying to think of how to say that sentence without saying Friday, and I just said it and was like, well, here I am. There we go. R.I.P. to the actor who played Debo as well. He died.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
brings me to my game of the year for 2020.
Debo?
No,
Debo.
no. Guys,
Okay.
it's Last of Us Part 2.
Hell yeah, here we
Game of
are.
the year. Come on. Like, yes, they did technical achievements, but throw that all out the window, okay? They made me buy a fucking guitar because that game was so good, okay?
Oh, Lord. I have a mortgage now because that game was so
A
good.
fucking guitar, okay?
I see that. Play it right now. Show us how Last of Us has taught you how to play guitar.
I mean,
I took whistling
I can totally do
classes because of this
listen,
game.
it's been a while, okay?
Hit me with some. Hit me with that Wonderwall. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll hit you with the Wonderwall
I
after
hate
this.
dogs now
Take on
because
me.
of this game. It's just
Seriously,
Yeah,
I
can't
said
watch
it before,
anymore.
and I'll say it again. That game made me cry like a grown ass man. Okay, just
Yeah,
ball,
same here.
just ball. I think yes, while Laura Bailey did a great job, Ashley Johnson was perfection.
Okay.
Absolute perfection.
sure.
Absolute perfection. I mean, we've said it before. Like it's Last of Us Part 2. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you what our top 3 are.
Oh boy.
also like shout out to the museum scene with like Joel and Ellie. That is one of the
Fucking A,
best
man.
moments I've
Oh,
played.
Oh yeah.
in a
No,
game.
that's a tearjerker.
Any game that can reference Jurassic Park just like gets
Gets a
Gets
I
a
should
tear
not
from me.
have at 3 a.m.
They get a
because I
number
was
4 spot on my list immediately.
ugly crying.
Yeah, I feel you. Oh man, the sobs.
So
And shout out to that boss. You know what I'm talking about, but I'm not gonna say any more than that.
yeah,
I don't want to seem like a Last of Us hater because I didn't put it on my list.
No, that's fine.
I like the game a lot. This has easily probably the best story of this year. I just didn't really like the gameplay all that much.
okay.
Waiting for
And
that multiplayer.
for me, that's what makes a game of the year because I need a story for a game to actually feel really good. And yeah, I just think this was the best story we've had in a while.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Are you guys ready?
Here we
Yes,
go. We
indeed.
start from the bottom.
Buckled in.
We're going to start from the bottom. At number 3, Miles Morales with 10 points.
Okay.
At number 2, Ghost of Tsushima with 13 points.
Okay.
And ladies and gentlemen, the Penultimate Conquest's first game of the year for 2020, The Last of Us Part 2, with
Hell
15
yeah.
points. 15
I was really
points.
hoping for Marvel's Avengers.
Wait, all right. So where does Marvel's Avengers stand?
Let's see. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3. Marvel's
Right next to Crosscode.
Marvel's Avengers is, I would say, since there's 2 places tied for 4th, that's 6th.
Whoa. Okay. What is tied for 4th?
Final Fantasy VII Remake and Doom Eternal.
Doom Eternal is like what? Let's say it's 5th. If it's tied for 4th, right? Oh wait, there's a bunch tied for 3rd.
I mean,
how does math
no,
work?
no. There's not tied. It's Doom Eternal is tied for is the only one that has 9 points.
Okay. In that case,
That's 4th.
Sorry. Marvel's Avengers is the only one with 8 points.
Okay.
So Doom Eternal, I would say, is the lower half of Final Fantasy VII is definitely up top, right, guys?
I'll accept it.
Yeah.
So
it's 5. If it's tied for 4, it's 5.
because you skip the 5th spot.
It doesn't matter. It has more points than Hades. Suck it, internet.
Ro had asked before. Hades is below Avengers. I can't believe you. And then he puts I can't see what that GIF is. Not the GIF. The
What did you just say? What did you just call it?
Emote. That's a Kappa emote.
I call it a GIF.
It's a GIF.
A GIF.
How dare you?
It's like peanut
GIF
butter.
is peanut butter.
GIF is peanut butter. You're right. It is GIF. I apologize. My apologies.
It's Jaffic Center Games format. It's fine.
Having said that, thank you,
Hey, Avengers
gentlemen.
made top 10, so I'm happy.
I
about
mean,
that.
literally anything could have.
It
made
had
top
more
10.
points than Animal Crossing. Hell
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me on the last episode of the year, and thank you for joining me on this, which is an episode I've been really wanting to do, but obviously I started this podcast this year, so I was very excited to do this, and I wanted to do something that hasn't really been done, but I'm sure it probably has. But fuck it, I thought this was a very inventive idea.
Yeah, put a new twist on it.
Yes. So thank you very much. Let's start with plugs. Ryan, what are you plugging?
I'm going to be plugging my Twitter, which I think is right above me.
Yes, it is right above
Which
you.
is Ryan3055, where you can find my hot takes and whatever else I'm up to at that moment. You can find it there.
Okay, cool. Anthony, what are you plugging?
For right now, I'm working on getting a tabletop YouTube channel set up, and that's going to be my big thing going to next year. I've been quarantined. We've been playing a lot of board games, and I'm getting rusty with my video production skills because video game content pretty easy to make.
Yep.
So I wanted to get in there and refine my skills again because it's been a bit because Corona, and so get back up to stuff with my animation and video editing skills. And so I'll be doing tabletop channel, Tabletop Encounter, and look out for that.
Okay. Is it going to be no E? Anthony?
Yeah. Same with digital. So
Okay.
Tabletop Encounter. Same thing.
Sounds good.
You gonna be doing D&D?
My little brother turns out is a very big D&D person. We have discovered in quarantine.
Okay. All right.
Great revelation.
Yeah. Emmett, thank you
Okay.
once again for joining me and all
yeah.
of us. What are
Well,
you?
hey,
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say thank y'all for having me. I realized that I wore a color shirt that's similar to the font that is my Twitter handle.
Oh yes, I was trying to fix that. So
You're actually fine because I noticed that when we started, and I was like, it's whatever. But I thought I'd make a bit of it as we end.
Thank you, appreciate it.
So yeah, long story short, EJ761 is where y'all can find me. I tweet a lot. It's a problem. But outside of that, VGU.TV is the site that I make a lot of content for. We just wrapped up the Players Club podcast for the rest of the year. In a couple days here, we're going to be putting out the Miles Morales spoiler cast that we recorded. And that was going to be real fun. And also, I'm working on Keeping It 100, which is a podcast I started way back in March, where I used a sorting algorithmic bot to sort my top 100 games of all time. Finally, I'm starting to finish up the finale for that, where I finally reveal that final list. And if you want, you follow me on Twitter, or if you follow the VGU.TV's Twitter, they are giving away some of those games in that list. So
Oh,
if you
okay.
So yeah, if you want to, all you got to do is guess where you think these games will fall on my final ranked list, and there's about 10 codes there, including some Game Pass stuff, some Titanfall 2 code, stuff like that. So I'm excited for it. Titanfall 2, man. That's what I'm talking about.
It's interesting that you said Titanfall 2 code, which means it's definitely number one.
There's a Titanfall 2 code that I'm giving away.
Yeah, but
I'm not going to reveal.
There is a strong chance that Titanfall 2 is in his top 5.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's specifically Titanfall 2 that you chose to say.
Well, I also said Game Pass, but that's
Game
for
Pass doesn't really
Tier 5.
count. No.
Hey, Titanfall
Game Pass
2
is
is
like
on
Game
Pass
300
PC
games.
tomorrow.
Listen, you're trying to throw me off the scent. I already know what you're.
You know what? If you really want to get thrown off, Gears 5 is ranked higher than every Uncharted game.
Oh my God, we talked about this. Ruben, me and Kyle Stevenson have talked with him about this before.
What?
And if
you just
think
broke
that's
my
wild,
brain there for a second.
if you think that's wild,
Oh.
you'll see the rest of the list, because even the first number 100 is going to be crazy to a lot of people. So wait till you see the list. I'm trying to finish it before Christmas, so that's what my main thing is right now.
Oh man.
I'm going to stand him. I think the Gears 1, 2, and 3 trilogy is better than the Uncharted trilogy. I'm
You
putting that
shut
out
the
there
fuck
right now.
up. Okay.
Oh my
Shut
God.
the fuck
I
up.
don't know about
Bro,
that.
I'm out of here. What is this blasphemy I'm hearing?
What is
Yo.
going on?
Yo, I had to sit
It's-
through. How long have we been streaming now?
We've been streaming for a good 2 hours right now.
2 hours? I had to sit through 2 hours of people talk about Marvel's Avengers. Okay?
Trust me, I know. I was sitting there right next to
And
you.
now I gotta hear this?
Yeah.
To be fair, our take is less spicy than that take.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'll give that to you.
Eric, what are you plugging, buddy?
I am plugging my Twitter that you can see in whatever corner I'm pointing to right now.
It's the
that I
left-hand
don't know. Let's see. What am I doing? I'm about to watch Rise of Skywalker with my friends. Hey,
Yay?
it's gonna be trashing it for 2 hours. and
Okay,
15
okay.
minutes or
I
whatever it is.
was gonna ask,
So-
have you seen them before?
It's for a friend's birthday. So.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm about to hopefully try to get my Miles Morales review up. I can definitely attest to Emmett's VGU site. It's great. You all should listen to it. He's great at what he does. So follow him. A lot of good stuff. And just mask up.
Thank you.
Socially distance, please. That's all I got.
Okay. Frank, what are you plugging, buddy?
I'm gonna plug my Twitter because that's actually the only thing I'm active on at the moment because of Cyberpunk. So yeah, my Twitter's gonna be right above me somewhere.
Yep.
Venom Unfit Snake. You probably can't see it, but hey,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Easy words.
I gotta
Venom,
fix
Unfit, and Snake. If you can't get that, don't follow me.
It'll be in the description.
But I tweet over there. I stream every now and again with the same handle, whenever I feel like it. I'm still out here eating beans, so please please follow me.
Magical fruit.
I'm working on.
Yeah, bushes.
I keep that motherfucking thing on me all the time, dude. Look at that. I keep it ready. You know,
got to.
when the hunger fucking sets in.
You got to. You never know.
When you get real hungry, yeah.
Got the beans in his Rari.
Yeah.
I'm working with some very great people on something very cool. I can't talk about it yet, but definitely stand by on that. We'll be announcing it very soon.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good. I'm looking forward to hearing what you're going to announce. I am going to plug. We will be continuing our Attack on Titan final season discussion this Sunday with episode 3, right, Ryan? Yes. Episode 3. Like I said before, this is the last video game podcast we will be doing this year up until next year, probably second week of January. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But until then, yes, I believe that's January 10th, right? It's on the calendar. Yep. We'll figure it out. I'll put
What's
it up.
January 10th?
Cyberpunk review. Well, spoiler cast. But yes, we will continue with Attack on Titan, and we are reviewing Wonder Woman 1984 pretty soon. That is also going to come out pretty soon. I don't know when, probably the first week of January. So yeah, I'll be streaming Cyberpunk 2077 throughout the week. I'll put the description below where you can find me. It's Penultimate Conquest on Twitch. You can find me on Twitter at Pen Conquest and pretty much everything else at Pen Conquest. All right. Thank you, gentlemen, once again for joining me on this epic
This is Epic Showdown.
Yeah, epic showdown. Yeah.
The ultimate showdown of Ultimate Destiny.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't you do this?
2020 All Stars Battle Royale. Let's
I
go.
appreciate it. I also want to just throw in a thank you for everybody that's been on. Ryan, Eric, Anthony, Frank has been on quite a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for helping me launch whatever the hell this is, this platform of talking video games, talking movies and anime and stuff. I really appreciate it without getting too heavy on the emotion stuff. Thank you guys very much. You have no idea how much it means to me.
Oh man, get a little teary-eyed there.
Get a little teary-eyed. With that, thank you guys. Have a good night.